Hello everyone. Today we have the Motherlode 12 as a Master of Harmony Monk on the Mythic difficulty in Season 2, The War Within. This is the route. There's a lot of skips in this dungeon. We don't do them. This is a good enough route to get you to a 10. And my talents, they haven't been changing a lot. This is what I've been sticking with, but I'll be having a new talent set up for the next run. And this is the gear. Nothing's pretty much changed. At the time of me recording this video, I got two upgrades. So legs, I got the mythic tier, and then my wrist, I got the 675 eye level once crafted. So my eye level now is 662, but this is what I had back then. The 33% crit I had there was with the flask, so I took it off and it goes back down to 29. So this first pull, a lot of people like to lust on because it's a heavy pull. You don't have to go this far. I just decided I wanted to make the best out of the heroism of the bloodlust. As you can see, you take a lot of damage. I instantly popped two defensives. My um, ringing mud ritual trinket and my dampen harm. But as you can see, I'm at constant red stagger all the time, 204%. So I think it's the problem that brewmasters have. You saw how many times I purified and I was still taking so much damage. So I immediately start to chain pull everything. You kind of want to take it slow in the 10. You don't want to chain pull this much because you'll actually have the time to complete it. And the 12s is a bit different. We don't really have all the time to be pulling everything separately. The main problem with these packs are these hired assassins. So what you want to do is you want to interrupt the toxic blades, which is them applying poison to their weapon, and then when they do fan of knives, you have to hard CC. So that's a stun or a paralysis to get them to stop casting. They won't recast it immediately. They'll get interrupted, which is a great thing. So you have to always keep an eye out for that. So save your leg sweep for that. This is one of the skips. Take it slow, not like me. But you jump over the box and then you jump over the ledge to skip that peacemaker. You don't want to kill too many. And it's good to start practicing this in early runs just so you can get it clean when you decide to do higher level keys. Because that's pretty much a skip that a lot of people are going to want to do. The less peacemakers you do, the better in this dungeon. And you'll see why in a minute, because they do a lot of damage. Not just to you, but to the group. There, the assassin started to cast Fan of Knives. I had to use Strength of Peace to knock him away. The other thing is, I pull him to this little alley because I realized that these mech jockeys, the farther they're away from these peacemaker suits, they won't be able to run to it, so their activate mech ability won't work. They'll do the, for example, you see he's doing all of the RP, but he's really not. He wasn't really running towards it. He only started running towards it because we pulled him out of that little corner. Everything's pretty much dead here, so I pulled the next peacekeeper. Now I'm trying to pull him to this corner for two reasons. One being these tear gas circles. It just makes it easier for people to find areas to run away to. And then this charged shield, you can kite it just so that you don't take, your party doesn't take damage, but whenever you get hit, everybody takes damage. So that's also another thing. They only managed to get hit 3 times with it, so it wasn't too bad. But it gets worse if you just take every hit. So that's something you can do if you feel like your party is taking too much damage. You can roll away for a little bit. I'm pretty sure that you missing out on some damage is a lot better than having your party killed. So now we don't want to pull this, but we want to pull these two packs together. And then this is what I mean by the jockey not running to his mech if you pull him far away. Interrupted the assassin's toxic blades, rolling away just enough so that the thing doesn't get us. And there we managed to get them stunned. Somebody pulled this pack sadly, but you know what can you do? Just rope it in with everything. So something I decided to do here was just to rope these 3 mobs into the boss. Just because the cleave is going to take them down. It's nothing too hard to tank. Nobody's going to be taking a lot of damage other than myself. And for this coin operated pummeler, what you want to do is you want to drag them to the edge, as you can see. Don't start to move them as soon as the gold starts to spawn. You can actually wait till everybody kicks the balls in, and then you have like 2 or 3 seconds to move him. So there I taunt him so that he can run towards me and then away from the gold circles. The reason for that is if you start moving him when the footballs are up, your team can miss hitting him, and then if you don't get rid of them of those balls in time, you'll wipe. So here you see, placing myself to the edge so I can get knocked back, not too far. And again, throw coin, just let the coins fall. It's fine. You can actually help kicking these balls too. I did it here because I saw that my team needed help. And again, once all the balls are kicked in, you have time. After he does this cone, this frontal cone, you can taunt it and move it away. And he doesn't suck up any coins. So you don't have to move him immediately once the gold coins spawn. And if you decided to save your lust for this boss, you activate lust once you have 5 soccer balls or 5 footballs kicked into him. Now these next pulls are some of the worst. So I could have pulled this together with the pack in front, but this extractor, once he does his extraction ability, it can pretty much wipe you, especially at this level. So you kind of want to pull this pack back into the boss area just a little bit, so that rapid extraction, you see all those circles, your group has more space to kind of run around. It's one of the worst abilities that these mobs have in this dungeon. But just kind of pulling them back a little bit really helps. It gives everybody more room to move instead of being stacked together. I think normally what you want to do is you want to have everybody stacked and then move around together. But it's a little bit hard to do in pugs, so just avoid it if you can. So here, the idea is we're gonna pull the extractor pack that's on top of that little hill. But in order for us to do it, we're going to start clearing out some of the mobs here just so we can open up space. So I'm contemplating on throwing my exploding cake to catch threat on these, but I don't want to catch threat on the ones behind them as well. Again, you want to do it little by little just to make sure that we get enough damage into a lot of mobs, but also don't want to overwhelm us with casters that we can't interrupt. Have to be careful also because once those sappers are near death, they'll do one of these little self-exploding abilities and then drop bombs. That's part of the reason also why I didn't want to pull this pack as well, because it's 3 sappers and then 3 casters. And as you can see, most of the team is melee. Here I just decided to just aggro the whole pack. Just needed to make use of the space already. As you can see, it's kind of a mistake because now we have 4 casters that we need to interrupt. And then we get a rapid extraction, so it's a mess. I mean, we're taking too much damage, casts are going off. So just take this part a little bit slow, you'll be fine. It's not gonna cost you the run, just if you split this up into smaller um pulls. I got a little bit too ambitious here. This pull here is a little bit can get a little bit difficult, but you just have to remember one thing. So that tectonic barrier, you don't really have to interrupt. So save your interrupts for the furious quake. Sorry, that's what you have to interrupt. The barrier ability is only going to give him a small shield, but the DPS is able to take care of it pretty quick. It's not like it's a 50% health shield or anything. It's pretty small. So you don't want to get baited out by interrupting the barrier and then letting the quake go off, because that's an AoE ability. So if you do decide to pull all three together, it's just you can let the barrier ability go off, but you definitely have to interrupt the quake ability. Yeah, I really thought about pulling this mini boss into the boss as he was low. He's gonna get cleaved down anyways, but he was already pretty low, so he ended up dying. So this boss fight is pretty simple. You just have to target the one that's enraged, or the one that's got the boss, and essentially the person who gets fixated just has to kite away the ad. You can root it, you can hard TC it, whatever you need to do. It's fine. All you have to do is also dodge the frontals, and the other ability he does is this little AoE quake. So what I'd recommend, the best thing to do is just tank him near the middle, just because you want to have the dirt path around him kind of clear, so that people can kite around. There, I did kind of mess up. Well, I don't want to say I messed up, but I could have probably kept them more closer to the middle. As you can see, the DPS is really good. They're burning down through these ads. I wish I would have set my details to damage done instead of healing. But I just kind of wanted to take a look and see how much healing I was doing in the run in certain segments. But that's the whole fight pretty much. If you have lust, you can use it here. After while you're DPSing down the first ad, it's no biggie. You just have to make sure that you kill the ad that gets enlarged, because if you don't, it's basically a wipe. He does an ability that causes a lot of damage. So it's not like you can just ignore it and straight DPS the boss. You really have to kill it. But that's the whole boss fight. Just dodge the frontals, kill the enlarged ad, and you'll die pretty much. Alright, Azerokk is that you want to take the minecart. Don't think you're smart and you're gonna run around it, because you'll die. You blow up. I did a run where I hopped into the minecart in a weird way and it pushed me a little bit too forward and I died in the minecart. And then another one, I tried to roll my way through the whole area and you can't. You blow up.
Watch your step.
So take the minecart. Be smart. Now for this pull, you want to DPS down the masterminds first. They create these little swirlies that if you stand in it, they silence you. Now you're thinking, well, you're a melee. What's he gonna do? Well, puts a lot of your abilities on a 6-second silence. So you can't Celestial Brew, you can't Purify, you can only Blackout Kick Tiger's Palm, and that's it. So you have to be careful to not to step into them. Also, don't bait your casters into it as well. This we did not need to pull this pack here. I don't know why I pulled it. You pull the ones next to that little shed over there, not these three. But mind you, this is 1:20 in the morning. I wasn't really thinking. I completely forgot about the route that I had already picked out. Anyways, there you see I got silenced by the swirls, so you don't want to stand into them.
Watch your step.
I think something that I really need to work on for this season as well is season one. What I used to do is I used to stack my 5 balance stratagems. So essentially, every time I use 5 physical abilities, my one
Watch your step.
spell will get empowered. So I would save that for the chi wave, just because it's more damage and healing and more chi that I collect for my aspect of harmony dot. I don't think I've been doing too well on it. I've been using like chi wave when I'm at 1 stack or 2 stacks. So I feel like I can definitely work on that. I'm just trying to make sure they don't pull anything, because pulling things in this little section can be easy. This pull is a headache, because we have 2 masterminds. So there's a bunch of golden tornadoes everywhere that silence you. So again, you want to keep them in the position where everybody's kind of stacked, so that the swirls spawn on you and then you move around. Kind of like in the Priory of the Sacred Flame, when he does his little hammer ability where he spawns the hammers around. That's kind of what you want to do here. So start in one corner and then you can ping where you're going to move to next. But basically, this really depends on where people are positioned. So you want to tell people to kind of stack up and then move together.
Watch your step.
Out of range.
Now on to Rixxa Fluxflame. You can pull her towards the middle there, just so that it's easier to see where you're gonna run to. But once you see that the goo is on the ground, you position her a little bit closer to the edge. Now, I'm gonna be honest, we kind of wipe here, and it's totally my fault. Again, this is like 1 in the morning, I'm tired, but I managed to get into this group, so I'm like, we're timing this. Once your group clears all of this little oil or whatever this is, you want to pull her towards the center of the room, and the reason you want to do that is because it gives everybody the ability to react and run to the safe area, right? I didn't do that, and you're gonna see what happens right now. I'm just tanking her in the same spot, right? And look, we get split. And definitely not ideal. Definitely not ideal. Because now we're getting boxed into this one little corner, right? And you don't want to get boxed into any corners. You want to have the ability to move out. The fight is pretty simple other than that, but here you see this is where I mess up again. So that's already 1 time that I mess up. And then here, after this propellant blast, I'm supposed to move her towards the middle just so that I see what's happening, right? Like where we're supposed to run to. I don't do that because I'm a little bit dumb. Look at this. The worst spot to tank her. Worst spot. And I'm thinking, look, she's at 10%, right? We're gonna DPS her? Nah. Now, what the shaman should have done was they should have taken one for the team and ran into the gold. I fall into the oil while panicking. And the rogue is like, what? They're all dead. I'm the only person alive. I used my ringing mud ritual trinket. And it's just a 1v1 at this point. So if I die here, the run is done, pretty much, right?
Target you.
It's done. But my confidence lies on the fact that I have Touch of Death, and I just have to do about 7 million more damage, which is possible, which is definitely possible. Touch of Death, done. That was definitely my mistake. Now, for this little area, I
Watch your
kind of
step.
learned something
Watch your
interesting.
step.
So this area has a lot of those little mines that kind of latch onto your DPS. Well, what you're supposed to do is you're
Watch
supposed
your
to run
step.
around and collect them and bring them back to the group so that the group can DPS them while they're all fixated on you. So it's easier for one person to
Watch your
kite
step.
around everything instead of five
Watch your
people
step.
trying to kite around mines, right? And I feel like one of the things that kind of deceives people is like, if the mine isn't fixated on you, you can run through it. It's not gonna blow up. It's just gonna blow up as soon as it touches the person who the thing is fixated on. But I should have ran up first and collected all of these mines and brought them back, right? Here, I'm trying to skip all of this. As you can see, the priest was the one who was fixated by that. He died. Paladin taking damage. Don't even know why. So I'm just waiting for these machines to line up so we can run through it.
Watch your step.
Again, if I would have ran ahead,
Run.
we would have been fine. Also, I know the rogue cloaked us there,
Watch your
which was the
step.
smart thing. But I guess the mines is still kind of fixated on us. They might have true sight. I don't know. But this ending here is a
Watch your step.
mess. Literally, it can literally end the run here. I've had runs end here. Because there's so many mines. We have two people dead. They have to run
Run.
back. There's no way we're gonna be able
Watch
to
your
battle res
step.
anyone here. And you kind of want to burn one of these
Watch your
machine
step.
ads, these war machines down, because I think they're the ones that um, do a lot of AOE damage, and also the help
Watch your
spawn
step.
mines. So it's like it's just so much going on. Just throwing mines out. So the faster you can kill one, the easier it'll be to clean everything else up. I should have targeted and touch of death that earlier. I'm just dropping ring of pieces to make sure that nobody's getting tagged. Everybody's running around. This is so bad. Paladin almost died. They pulled another war machine. Oh my god. This can definitely get out of control easy and fast. Alright, we made it through the gauntlet. So now the final boss. So, common misconception, the bombs don't always land on these four grates. You have to pay attention to where those little helicopters are at. If you see there's one right next to us, so that means that that area is going to be bombed. So, pay attention to where they're at, and then go to the area where they're not. As you can see, we probably would
Keep
have died.
moving.
We would have wiped there. But a lot of people have this misconception that if you stand on this grate area where I'm at now, that the bombs won't touch you there. No, you have to pay attention to where the helicopters are standing. There, the paladin is pinging that we should stand here. I can't see the helicopters. I'm trying to keep an eye out for them. Good call on him. So, as the tank, that's part of your job as
Keep
well. You have to
moving.
keep an eye out on where that little helicopter is located so that you can avoid being carpet bombed like crazy and wipe. So now the helicopters are moving to that corner, so we can start moving. There, the rogue probably, I don't know what he did. He shadow cloaked that, something. but he
Behind the
probably
boss.
would have taken a good
Keep
amount of
moving.
damage. And this, other than that, like this boss is not that hard. It's pretty simple. It's just that the DPS have to really be on him to get him down. He's already down to 30% with Lust. We have 3 minutes left. We can't royally mess this up, right? As for these little Sky Scorchers, you can taunt them, you can aggro them, but it honestly does nothing. You just have to pick one and then target it, DPS it down, get it down as fast as possible, while the people who get fixated by the boss stand next to these little pillars. Sky Scorchers are done. You can DPS the boss, but it's pointless. He's taking like 99% reduced damage, I think. So everybody's just moving to the next one just in case they get targeted. Now, this is just the easier part of the fight now. Um, you still dodge the carpet bombing, but he just does the Gatling gun ability and the homing missile ability,
Behind the boss.
and you
Keep
don't go
moving.
into. See there, I messed up, but luckily we had enough cracks to kind of fit through. But this is all he does now. Gatling gun and homing missile. He doesn't go back into that other second phase. And that's it. You just keep paying attention. See, I should have moved over
Behind
to
the
the
boss.
left instead of staying
Keep
there.
moving.
Because all the helicopters are in our area. So that means that they're going to drop a lot of bombs where we're standing. But that's the whole fight. It's not that hard. And yeah,
Well
healer
done,
died there, but it's fine.
mortal.
Would have had about 2 minutes left. And that's Motherlode 12. So you can see the Red Paladin and the Rogue were doing really good damage. The enhanced Shammy, I think, was a little bit of a lower eye level, so that's probably why they did less damage, but still pretty good. I imagine if we had a DPS who was doing near 3 mil as well, we probably would have timed it a lot faster. But the group overall was pretty good. As you can see, the healer was doing great. And again, Blackout Kick, #1 damage source. This is before the buff that they did to our 4-piece. So I imagine that the overall damage is going to be a lot more after that. And my healing done. Celestial Fortune doing almost like 400 million is crazy. That 207 million overheal is insane. I I guess the Disc Priest was really just working hard, but that kind of surprised me when I saw it. And again, Celestial Brew always doing great. And that's that. I'm still working on the video to show my UI and weak auras. I'm trying to get it down right so that you guys can see what I use. Mainly because it's taking bits and pieces from a lot of pre-existing weak auras and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I get it down right. So stay tuned for that video and see you in the next one. Bye.